Okay, my friends, I am going to show you today what exactly plasma is, what exactly gravity consists of, what exactly dark matter consists of. Actually show you these things. And this is the new electron flood theory. It covers everything, and this is all you need to know. Let's get started. Okay, this is Lex Friedman. He's interviewing his father, Alexander Friedman, and Alexander is saying that the elegance of chemistry and the elegance of physics and plasma and all this is that it has to be completely simple, or when it gets too complicated, forget about it, because it's too complicated and it doesn't work. So here's what he has to say. Listen to this. Now, I'm hoping, and I tried to contact Lex Friedman. I've looked into him. He gave up a job, apparently, somewhere at MIT or something, to go in on his own to try to investigate physics, is what I understand. And if that's true, I would like to communicate, and I've made my offering and I've sent my messages out, and I'm showing things that, really have substance. They're not just guesses. Now, here's what his father has to say. Listen to this. Here it goes.
What do you think it takes to do that kind of thinking and come to those ideas? And how many times have you encountered those kinds of ideas in your life? Have you had any?
Yeah. I would say that's the whole beauty. My feeling. That's the whole beauty of science. It's just people they say no, it's impossible, and you say no, wait, take a look. Wait a second. Read it. Take a look. Just think for 5 minutes.
That's all I ever asked, and I haven't found anybody who will do it. Now, and I hear them all saying basically the same things he's saying, and that it's got to be wide open. We've got to look. We've got to think. Absolutely, and I agree with that. However, if you come with some evidence to support your side of the story, they don't want to look. They don't want to think. They want to be able to contradict you with, just their statements and evidence that they support. But when you come with evidence, forget about it. I'm hoping this is not going to be the case with Professor Friedman or Dr. Friedman or whatever he is, but we'll have to see.
If something is very complicated, Kapitsa, Nobel Prize laureate, like I work with him, by the way, he used to say, if it is complicated, it's probably wrong.
And he's right.
Well, it was a lot of discussion between Kapitsa and Landau, because Landau, he enjoyed to do something in a most complicated way. While his friend Kapitsa, he was trying to do everything in an absolutely simple way.
That's me.
And they had all these discussions, because sometimes Kapitsa, he went to extremes, and he used to say, well, this is simple, it means this is right. And now he was laughing.
All right, I don't want to go into all these arguments, but I'm going to tell you right now, electron flood theory is literally the only thing that works, and it covers every single. If you can give me an electronic interaction, anything, any energetic reaction you want me to explain, anything whatsoever, I can explain it with electron flood theory, from gravity to lightning, to heating of the corona of the sun, to the ether particles that exist in the space, which are particles emitted from the sun that we're scrubbing through, causing our magnetosphere, and all of the things that we see are interactions between electron to electron, push to shove, electron flood theory. Okay, my good friends, this is what CERN is looking for, is a muon, which is just, it does nothing. It's just a black ball of nothingness. And the electron, which creates huge showers of particles, they come in and they slam into something, and they are literally this. This is the muon, and it is literally dark matter and gravity. That right there is the source of gravity, and I can show this. Now that is the electron, and that's the explosive part we always thought was only negative. It's electron in its entirety has a negative and a positive. The positive is dark matter, has no energetic reaction whatsoever. It is a grabber and everything comes to it. It is dark matter. It does not reflect. It does not attract. It does not absorb. Well, it does attract. It doesn't do anything explosive like an electron will. In a photon, these two, which is an electron, back to back makes a photon. All right, they both have dark matter with them. If you get enough of these together, they start to make particles of atoms. When they concuss the photons, they create enormous showers of electrons, which are right there, electron showers. So here comes in the particle right there. Nothingness and explosiveness. Now let's see it happen. All right, we're going to be looking at all of these little frames. Now the first one here is light coming out of a red laser. That's the actual particle. We're going to see it in a second. Now, that's just going straight forward. That's the leading edge of it. There's actually a particle in there. You don't realize it. Now, here it is, the same wave. Now it's becoming accelerated. The particle itself is coming out and concussing at the venturi. Well, guess what? That's the particle right there. As I said before, electron flood theory. I'm going to show it to you right now. We saw it coming into the venturi. This particle exists right there at the venturi, explodes at the venturi, and actually separates in its entirety. Now, what will happen is the black ball will walk right away from the explosive part. I'm going to show this. That's at the impact site. The photon was this black and white particle coming through. Bam, it hits the venturi. Only the white particle goes through the venturi. The black ones walk right away. They don't want to be involved in that concussive reaction. And here you have the electron showers. This coming at us, you see that? Coming directly at us. Here it is over here, coming out directly at us. These are the electron showers. Exactly what I just showed you that CERN is looking for. And this is from light, from accelerated laser light. So light is light. It's one of the smallest particles there is. The only thing smaller that I know of is the electron. And then we have also separated the electron, which is this right here, from the photon. And then we have separated the dark matter from the electron portion of the electron, which we would call the electron. I'll show you that right now. All right, just so there's no mistakes here. Here's what's going on. The red laser is shooting out here. Pop, 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 pop. You saw those waves. Then you saw the particle accelerating. Then you saw the particle itself, which was this. Then you saw the venturi. Then you're going to see what happened after the venturi. And these are all the electron showers. Okay, so these are the electron showers. Now, here it is actually happening. Don't forget, here's the photon. It has a huge region around it. Remember I showed you this ball? This is literally what this is. All right? It has a huge region that it controls around itself. Look up 21 centimeter line. That's the hydrogen control region. Absolutely enormous. When it gets into this venturi, it can't get through there without crushing itself. When it does, here's what happens. There's the crush. Don't forget, they were coming in like this. Well, what's this? See all these little black balls. Look at this, all the little black balls. No black balls. Exactly what I said, the impact zone. Exactly how I showed the concussion through the venturi. Only the explosive particles here, which we're going to call the electron shower, and these are the muons, which surround the electron shower, and then they reattach down below. Now, don't forget, I said that these dark particles are gravity. They'll come together, but they don't want to be involved in explosions. So there's no reaction, there's no concussion, there's no explosion, there's no light emitted. There's nothing. They're dark matter. And that is dark matter because it pulls together its particles that are attached to the white ones. We saw that, no question whatsoever, absolute certainty. And now they are 100% absolute certainty have separated from their white particle partner. So the same white particle partner that was over here with that black particle, I can't believe it's going to find the same guy over here. So what I have to believe now is that this region is completely independent of these black balls. When they came together, they were friendly, they were man and wife, or however you want to look at it, and then they just separated, and then they came back together with likely somebody else. And here they are coming back together. Now this is the region where the explosiveness and the pushing together so hard, where it's just energy here. Here it starts to get, where they're not really pushing hard enough, they start to come back together. And that's when the blacks come back in. But in between, the black ones don't mind being right, snuggle up against the other black ones, no problem for them. The white, no. You get next to me, I'm going to explode you. That is what's happening here. This region here, in my world, is a region that can be harvested for 100% electron energy. The electron showers. That's all you have here is an electron shower until you get to here. Then your dark energy comes back in. And then you lose all of your potential. Here you have an absolutely enormous potential. I can't believe that that's not enormous amount of energy. If you could somehow put a filament here, a membrane, a barrier, and once it hit here, the only way this stuff could go is this way, and the only way the black stuff could go is that way, I think you got something. Now let's look at a couple things in detail. Remember, pulse red laser, pip, 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 and it's making these until it started getting accelerated. There's our particle. You see this here? You see these reverse lines? That, and you see this big, brilliant, that is because of the reverse EMF exploding backwards, pushing back into the forward coming, creating this leading edge of brightness, because there's a zillion other one of these light particles coming at it. You see them? They're all over the place. You don't see them because they don't have the impact like this one has, because it's hitting the Venturi. But when it goes back against it, then they become illuminated. You see that? You wouldn't see these, but they're there. Now, let's show you what happens on the other side of the Venturi, which is unbelievably cool. All right, this is electron showers. We're looking directly into the Venturi. Out comes the electron showers. We saw the dark balls go around the outside. They are not involved in this area whatsoever. This is the white stuff. This spin backwards. Each one of these is an electron pulse. You see, pulse red laser, pulse. Now, that one came from the same source. So, as far as I'm concerned, if the red laser emitted it, which it did, and they all came through as they are, very, very similar, and that one came through, in my mind, it is a reverse spinner. Now, because there's a right-hand rule, and if they spin to the right, they have a field that surrounds them in such a way. This one, I think, is spinning left, and instead of throwing its field outward, it's pulling its field inward as it spins to the left, and it's gathering its energy. These are spitting it out like, that's all I can come up with. All right, I guess I'm going to start summing this up. These are those light disks that came through, they are basically the electron showers. Now, that, I believe, is the white particle. Okay, you see it? Because these are like strobe pictures. There it is there again. And here it is concussing with another disk, whether it's this one or not, I'm not sure. If they are just intersecting and hit, I really don't know what to think about this. But I do know that that is not the same as the other ones. And this was not the same as the other discs coming through there. And they all came from the same source. So let's start from there. And whatever that is, je ne sais pas. Now don't forget, this is where we saw the red laser light accelerating. First of all, you couldn't see much, and then it showed these boxes, which are the particles of light, the photons. Then they just exploded as they hit the Venturi. As you can see, green electrons do the same thing, but they have a much more explosive concussive value than the red. I think they're just spinning much faster, but they're the same basic particles. All right, so one more time now. These are the muons, which is the black ball, attached to the white ball, which is the electron shower ball. They come through high voltage, and the only ones that do this is high voltage ones, which we are shooting them accelerated. When they do this, they come through. They were going into, well, they're showing Cherenkov radiation. This is what we're showing. So at any rate, this is that muon. This is the electron shower. I think I am showing some very sophisticated research on these particles, and I'd like to be involved if I can. I really would. I'd love to get deeper into this, because I believe this is, electron flood theory says there's nothing but electrons. Nothing but electrons. And at 1837 they make a proton. At 1838 it's a neutron. And they're the only ones that are resonance stable. And the reason they're resonance stable, I believe now, is because of the universal frequency of the universe. There's a universal frequency. I believe it's around 432 hertz. All right, this is exactly what Tesla said. Look for vibration and you will understand the universe. And here's what happens. We're down at 345 hertz. That way down in this range, hydrogen is the molecule that's created. And you will see the structure of it. And here is electron flood theory, and I'm going to show you the structures in a second. The electron is that one little particle I showed you. It has an extremely energetic side and a dark matter side. Now, when they get shaken and vibrated at a certain frequency, those electrons will lock in and make a stable formation at 837 of the electrons together make a proton. They shake, and I'll show you this right over here in a second. They shake and boop, they lock in. 1838 or so makes a neutron. And then they go up in those blocks, that size each one. So really we have hydrogen 1 is 1837, hydrogen 2 is twice that, hydrogen 3 is 3 times that, and then you get up to helium, and then you're 4 times that, and then 5 and 6 and 7. It just keeps going up by the number of protons and neutrons times these quantities of electrons. It's all it is a bigger ball of snowball. And here's the snowball right here. So here's the snow shaking all over here. This is a frequency generator at 345 hertz, which in the universe hums. It just actually hums. And that is what sets up the molecular stability. In my mind, that's what happens. Now watch this. The hum at 345 does this. To me, that's a hydrogen area molecule. It just has the single lowest orbital and can only have like 2. It's like this right here. It's this row right here. Then you go into the next row, then you go to the next row, and they kept getting more and more and more and more sophisticated. But in the next row you get into the rule of 8. Right down here we're into the lowest orbital. Watch. Alright, so that's at 345 hertz. Now it's going to go into the rule of 8 and we're up at 1033 hertz. There's the rule of 8. Now I don't know if this is right or not, but it damn sure looks correct to me. And then you still have the rule of 8, but now you're jumping up into another group on the periodic chart. And then it goes up and up and up. And it gets up way up here to where you're so sophisticated, it's absolutely amazing, but it keeps having these patterns. And they only lock in at certain frequencies. Now let's take a look at something else. Okay, my very good friends, so you have seen my claim that electron flood theory says that there's nothing but electrons. They're all dipole electrons. One half of it has nothing. It is the dark matter. It is the dark energy. It is gravity. The other side is what we consider energy. They come in photons of different strengths. They are basically the energy of life, and they are all there is. They make up particles. Every nucleus is nothing more than a mass of electrons. Now, I'd like to be involved. I have a lot more on this as well. And it goes into life, too. And it goes into the way the particles in life and the proteins and so forth are all constructed. This goes very, very, very deep. And then I have a lot of other research which is extremely interesting about how things fossilize, like this goose. You see the feathers? And I have much, much, much more on that. So, please, some professors somewhere, please get a hold of me. I'm hoping that Dr. Friedman or Lex will get a hold of me, or so I don't care who it is. I want this to be examined for what it is, because I believe I have earned a seat at the table. You know, this is not silly. This is not something that's unsupported. It's all pretty. It actually seems pretty damn obvious, to be honest.